and total and where we are at. I know we have a 10-year time span to spend them. That's basically what I think most counties have. I know we've agreed upon that. I don't know what other counties have, some 5, 7, or whatever, depending on their infrastructure needs. But do we have an idea of what we have collected totally right now to date in impact fees?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
We can pull that report. I don't have it in front of me. We have 7 years by ordinance.
By ordinance is 7 years?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you. So we have 7 years to spend all the impact fees. That's a pretty short time to spend all the impact fees that I believe we currently have. So Mr. Cruz, you're a smart guy, but I disagree with you on this point. I don't think we need to have to go through the whole process again of having to order another study, to delay out, do what we got to do, and go from there. So that's where I'm at right now.
Okay. I can't see the board to see who's.
I mean, I know mine's all messed up.
I'm just going to answer. I'm just going to answer 2 of your things real quick. One, you literally just said we don't care what Sarasota does. We don't care what Citrus County. We don't care. We don't care about other counties. Last year, we sat here gutting our wetland buffers, and the same exact people were saying this is what Sarasota does. And this, you can't call a question while I have the floor. You need the floor to call the question. You sat here and pointed to.
Commissioner Beard, hang on, let Commissioner Cruz finish.
I'm going to let him finish whatever he's mumbling. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, you all pointed to other counties as your assumption for best practices, but now all of a sudden we don't care what other counties do. And your other point, you referred to District 4 not benefiting from things in Lakewood Ranch and so forth. That's literally how impact fees work. You prove the point of impact fees. Impact fees are set in 4 different quadrants because it's a nexus test for them. So only the people who benefit from the impact fees are the ones paying those impact fees. What you're proposing to do is float $300 million of bonds where proportionally a portion of it will be paid by people in District 4 for things we're going to build in Lakewood Ranch and in District 1. You're literally proving the opposite. The impact fees do what you're trying to hope that they do by having the people who benefit from the impacts are the ones paying for those impacts. But what you're proposing is to charge the collective Manatee County to do the improvements, even the people in District 4 who aren't going to benefit from those impacts. So you're doing the opposite of what you proposed.
I'm not against, I have been historically against impact fees, but I'm not against what we're trying to accomplish today as far as where we need to be at today for the impact fees. I understand impact fees are a necessary evil. If we stopped all construction today in Manatee County, you're gonna be sitting here today, if you are sitting here today, if we stopped all construction in Manatee County, all construction stops. The taxpayers, we're gonna raise their taxes through the roof because services are not gonna stop. We're not gonna, the sheriff is still going to have a $40 million budget. The fire's still going to need us, everything like that. I'm not for, I am for being where we're at right now on impact fees. So I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just disagreeing with you on having to take another 18 months or whatever it is. I don't care. It's not going to be 10 days. They're not going to be able to get the study out to us in 10 days. There's no way. It's not going to happen. Not what they need to do. Not what statute asks for. So I'm okay where we're at with impact fees. Raise them to where they got to be at. But I'm not for extending this again and again and again. You were complaining before. We keep extending this out. We keep extending this out. We keep extending this out. And I'm not for extending this out again. I mean, we need to get this thing, we need to get these impact fees moving forward. I don't want to wait another 12 months or whatever it is. I don't think we need to wait that. I think we have a solid plan for where we're at on impact fees, what we need to do for the future of Manatee County as it sits today, and we need to move forward. I mean, you've been on this board a long time. You were here when the study sat here in 2020. So I mean, I'm kind of lost for where that's at, but I'm not disagreeing with you on the fact that we need to raise impact fees, but I think we raise them to the level where we have them today, with the study's been submitted, what staff has recommended, and we move forward where we're at today. Thank you. Anybody else on board? I mean, I can't, for some reason it's having technical difficulties.
I'm on the board.
Commissioner Bearden, you're off. You're not red. You got to go red. Hit it harder. There you go.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Now, I agree with the fact that we need to look at these impact fees and do it the right way, not something thrown together in the last minute. You're exactly right. Commissioner Cruz has been here since 2020. And all of a sudden, while we're about to go to campaign season, he's bringing these subjects up. He's had 4 years to bring this subject up. 4 years to push it hard, and he hasn't. All of a sudden, in the last 6 months, now he wants to bring it up. You know, I mean, I'm not willing to do a fly-by-night, 10-day, do this in 10 days, and all of a sudden now we're going to have a result to make a decision on that? And you're laughing over there like it's funny, but you did have 4 years to really push this issue, and you didn't. And you want to be anti-developer and all this other stuff, but you're the one that's approving developments for the last 4 years. The last 6 months, maybe you haven't because you're campaigning, but this is ridiculous, and we need to do this right. That's all I have, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to respond to that because he's talking about me.
Yes, sir.
I would encourage everyone to go back and listen to a podcast from 2021, right after I got on the board, where I specifically said impact fees need to be increased to the fullest extent, and they have absolutely no effect on homes. That was right after I got elected. I pushed for full study for the full cost of the impact fee. While we were still at the convention center, it got pulled by staff and by the county attorney at the time because the new bill had just passed. 2021 was when the state came in and passed the bill restricting it to 50% subsequent to it, and we had to redo the study. Our consultants pulled the study while I was pushing to increase it. That wasn't me pulling the study. That was a state requirement. We had to pull it and redo the study because there were different criteria passed down by the state. So I did try to push it from day one, as a matter of fact. And I've been talking about this for the past 12 months, trying to push it. You could talk to Ms. Knapp. You could talk to everybody else in the insurers. I was the one pushing and pushing and pushing. Last year, you can go look over 12 months ago, up on this dais, go back and watch the videos where I kept complaining, why is this getting kicked down the road? Why is this getting kicked down the road? That was way, way, way before your perceived campaign period. And I've never had a problem with development. I've never said I had a problem. I never claimed to be anti-developer. Go read anything I've ever written. I don't claim, all I say is development should be in the right place and pay its fair share. Those are literally sentences I've said over and over and over again. We need to focus on redevelopment. That's why I pushed back on 2128, and I said they need to pay their fair share. I've never said stop development. I just said it needs to be properly done and properly paid for. That's all I've said, and that's all I've been saying since I got on this board, and you can go back and check the record on that instead of just your version of campaigning for your little friend over there.
All right. Commissioner Bearden, let's
No, I
move
mean,
this along.
he makes all these statements in regards to paying impact fees, but he wasn't pushing the Taylor Ranch deal to do that when he approved that deal, 2,000 right outside the FDAB. So you contradict everything you say. You're not even true to what you say. Everything that comes out your mouth is only to try to benefit yourself, not the citizens. It's try to benefit yourself. So you're losing in a campaign, and so now this is the best thing to say so that the voters will say, okay, we're going to go with you, Commissioner Cruz. But it's all false. Everything that comes out of your mouth is false. It's not true because you contradict everything that you say. Your actions speak louder than your words, Commissioner Cruz. That's all I have to say. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. All right. We've had discussion. We're all done with discussion. What I do now is we're open for public comment. The first speaker on the board is David Dean. Mr. Dean, if you'd come forward, state your name, county of residence, and you have 3 minutes, sir.
My name is David Dean. I'm a Manatee County resident for 30 years. I live out in Mayaca, or as it's getting to be now, East Lakewood Ranch. I think this proposal is certainly not conservative government. In fact, I think it's socialism for the rich and powerful, while we, John Q. Public, picks up the tab. Impact and user fees are certainly not subsidized for us. About a week ago, I had to pay the county $1.05 per page for a copy of my own records. You didn't subsidize that. Anyone who registers a car in Florida for the first time in Florida pays hundreds of dollars extra for adding that car to the Florida roads. What you're proposing to vote on today saddles us with nearly half the cost of adding each new house, but because of the new state law, prevents us from charging any increase in the fee for 4 more years. You're locking us into this. It would be better to table this vote today and come back with a full impact fee, even if it takes 6 weeks until October 1st to do so. Rather than continue to dig a financial and infrastructure hole for another 4 years for we, Manatee County citizens, to pay for, while the developers walk away with all the profits. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Next up is Diana Shoemaker. Ms. Shoemaker, you know the rules. Good morning.
Good morning. Diana Shoemaker, resident of Manatee County. Good morning, Commissioners. I want to represent myself as a resident who very much would appreciate taking the time to do this right. I want to speak today about the critical local need for our BOCC to increase impact fees in Manatee County to the maximum allowable amount so the developers are contributing their fair share to the infrastructure that they have created the need for. As our community continues to expand rapidly, our roads and schools and public safety and utilities face unprecedented pressure. Without sufficient funding, the financial burden of maintaining and expanding infrastructure falls on existing residents through higher taxes or service fees. We risk creating a continually overburdened infrastructure, which can lead to further congestion, longer emergency response times, sewage and water issues, and declining quality of life. Developers paying their fair share of the cost not only alleviates the financial burden on existing residents, but also promotes sustainable growth. It will enable us to invest in necessary upgrades and expansions, such as widening roads, improving our public utilities, enhancing public safety facilities, which impacts all of us throughout this community. Fair and adequate impact fees help attract businesses and residents by providing a well-maintained, efficient infrastructure. It signals to potential investors that Manatee County is committed to sustainable development and long-term prosperity. We must stop making these short-term decisions that only benefit a few at the cost of our long-term future. Increasing impact fees is essential for maintaining and improving the infrastructure that supports our community growth. It is a responsible, fair, and necessary step to ensure that Manatee County remains a vibrant and desirable place to live, to work, and to invest. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Would anyone else like to come forward and speak on this issue? You have, state your name, county.
Yeah,
residence.
my
You
name's
have 3
Tim
minutes.
Mays, I'm a Manatee County resident, and I'm up here not expecting anything to change from the last meeting. What I seen last meeting was a lot of fear-mongering about lawsuits, et cetera. Commissioner Cruz just said about the same thing he said the last meeting. We got the same response. Couldn't even get a second on a motion to look at maybe increasing them to 100% of what the study that we paid for says, which doesn't make any sense to me. We just had somebody say that they could have the study done by October 1st. We had 4 other counties that he cited that did it in weeks, yet we have more fear-mongering saying that's thrown together. I mean, how can you say that somebody threw a study together, Commissioner Ballard? I mean, that's not fair to them, you know. Why don't we talk to these people and find out, you know, what it took before we, you know, start putting them down for, you know, haphazardly putting studies together. That's not fair to say that. And about litigation, I mean, all I heard last meeting about litigation that started with the county attorney is, well, we're afraid about litigation. Well, last year, the same thing came out when the study came out. Commissioner Ostenbridge was worried about litigation because of points were brought up by the building industry. They were all dispelled, you know, and here we are, fear-mongering again about litigation, you know, and it's not helping the citizens here at all. And to say that it's only, that the citizens of the entire Manatee County aren't going to pay for this is disingenuous too, because we're the ones that got to pay the interest on the bonds to improve all the county's roads, you know. for the money that's not there. I mean, we got $300 million of capital improvement projects that aren't funded, you know, and, you know, I understand that a lot of these are, a lot of this impact money's supposed to be whenever where the impact is, but also the study said that we're only collecting 40% before, on the 2015 study, we were only collecting 40, last year we were only collecting 40 cents on the dollar, what it was costing for the actual infrastructure improvement. So, I mean, this doesn't make sense to me. We're not even looking at what can we do for the taxpayers. And last week I talked to a guy who moved in here 2 years ago. He said he paid $17,000 in impact fees, and you know what he said? It's not near enough because this county really needs work. So this is somebody that did it. And last time, Commissioner Ron, you said about taxation without representation. Well, guess what? The people that are moving in and paying these impact fees, they're going to have to subsidize in the future for a shortfall of what we're collecting in impact fees. So, I mean, I hope you remember you said that. So, but thank
sir.
you.
Okay. Is there anyone else that would like to come forward and speak on this item? You have 3 minutes. Please state your name and county of residence.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Glenn Pearson, Manatee County resident, District 1. I just wanted to say that this is not an anti-developer proposal that's being floated here. It is pro-Manatee County resident. To do the study correctly, taking the time to do it, and you've had time, you've chosen not to look into it. Now is the time to do it. If not, the taxpayers in those particular districts, and I'm in District 1, that's out east, that's where hyper-development is going on. Those are the taxpayers who are going to be impacted by this, either by paying more money or by not having the infrastructure put in place because we can't afford it and we have to delay it. So what I'm saying is that as a resident of Manatee County in District 1, I would like you to table this for now, do the study, look into it. I mean, at the very least, can you look at 15 pages of what Citrus County and Charlotte County has done? Look at it before you just say, okay, not going to do it. Remember, residents are going to look at this. They will know who is responsible for them having to pay more money or not having that infrastructure in place. It will be realized, and voters will have their say. Again, Glenn Pearson for the record.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else like to come forward? I got one it's coming before you.
Go ahead.
Good morning, sir. Can you state your name, county residence, and you have 3 minutes.
Keith Green, Manatee County. As I sat here and listened to what everyone was saying, what it ultimately comes down to is, I think what it is that people have a fear of growth. That's what I believe it mostly is being said here, is that they're not exactly saying it, but what it is it's a fear of growth. Growth is going to happen whether we want it to or not. The fact is we are growing in this county. I live in District 1 as well, and I've seen what that growth is doing. What they're not mentioning is that that growth is bringing in new businesses, new people that can make our county a whole lot better, as well as bring some new things to the table. And it just really saddens me that I see so many people that are so against it, but don't see what the potential it could bring. As someone that's only lived here for some time, but my wife's family has been here for over 35 years. They have businesses here. They have property here. They've contributed to the overall quality of life of Manatee County. And since coming here, I too have done the same thing. So are we supposed to say to anyone that is looking to move here into Manatee County, or at least into the state of Florida, that, sorry, Florida's closed? No. We should embrace this growth. And anyone that thinks differently of that should absolutely be ashamed of themselves when some of them have probably at least, in my opinion, live in a development somewhere here or there in this county. And I can name a few that are in this room and that are not in this room that have benefited off of development and growth. And if you ask me, that's what it ultimately comes down to, is fear. Fear of something new, fear of the unknown. Don't fear it, embrace it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Please state your name, county residence, and you have 3 minutes, sir.
Larry Arnold, and I guess another one of those District 1 folks, Manatee County. Build off of what Mr. Green said, I do have fear. It's not of growth, it's of growth the way it's currently being carried out. But to get deep on topic, I think that we really do need to review these impact fees. I think and they need to be reviewed now, not later. It's reminiscent of last time I heard folks that wanted a 10-day review of an election count 4 years ago, and it didn't happen. And it can go with where we think we are from that now. But I'm going to go back to my earlier comment. I think that $450 million, $500 million that you might be passing up on, when this county, this board of directors of a billion-dollar corporation says they don't have the basic building block information, that you don't know how many units and how many square feet you're adding and what you're going to have to accommodate in service. And that's what I was told in writing by your folks. If you don't have that, it's like the captain of the Titanic driving forward and saying to his navigator, I don't want to know where the damn icebergs are. I want to go the way I want to go now. That's the way I've been told to go, and I'm going to do it. And that's what scares me and the folks in District 1 that are watching this. It's not the fear of growth. It's how it's happening, and how it's happening without a board, with our board. You're our board of directors, even knowing what your service needs and demands are going to be, because if you don't know those units, you don't have the basic building blocks. And I would urge you to reconsider and do the 10-day study. I think that would be something that you could try. And if after 10 days it doesn't pan out, then you can say to Commissioner Cruz, no, we tried. Anyhow, thank you very much. And I don't think I changed any minds, but I did want to share that with you. Have a great day. And by the way, Commissioner, nice tie.
Thank you, sir. All right, is there any other one? Anyone? Yes, Pat, please come forward. Yes, ma'am.
Pat Simmons, Manatee County. I lived 20 years plus years in Port St. Lucie, owned a house in a non-HOA neighborhood. When they started having this discussion, people east of 95 would have filled this room. And it was, they wanted to collect impact fees from the people east of 75 to pay for tradition and all the new subdivisions that were being developed out there. And people came, like I said, they would have filled this room. They finally decided, number one, developers, you want to develop this, you pay the impact fees. Why should the citizens on the east side of town that are never going to go to tradition have to pay for the schools, for the infrastructure, for the roads, for the traffic studies? And they were right. And we're right here. You mentioned that it pays for sidewalks on Cortez. Get real. That if these impact fees work, senior citizens are being outcost. We can't afford to live in this county anymore. We definitely can't afford to live in Lakewood Ranch. That I'm never going to drive on those roads, have kids in those schools, use the infrastructure, and yet we're the ones that are either going to have to pay or we're going to have to move because we can't afford it. The developers need to pay their fair share.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, is there anyone else that'd like to come forward and speak on these items? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and close public comment. Is there any other further deliberation among the board?
If I could just make one
Commissioner Ballard.
quick statement. I was able to find the contract that Citrus County had with Duncan and Associates for their extraordinary needs study. It was not a 10-day process. Several times through the contract, it mentions the exigency and that it's important that it's done quickly. It was approximately a 3-month process. So there's no way that they did it within 10 days.
County Attorney, thank you, ma'am. Yeah, hang on, guys. Hey, hey.
Yeah, I just wanted.
Commissioner Beard. Settle. Thank you.
I just
Madam
wanted
Attorney.
to clarify procedurally that, any increase in impact fees beyond the statutory limits require 2/3 vote of the board, and it requires 2 public workshops, it requires 3 public hearings, 1 before the planning commission, 2 by the board. It's starting from scratch. And we also have a little complication here because we're also transitioning to alternative transportation fee system that's similar to ability fee, but not ability fee, and that gets a little delayed if you hold off on the other one. And I just did want to point out, since the county attorney's office was named as someone who doesn't do their job, I wanted to point out that the county attorney's office works for the whole board of county commissioners. And at the June meeting, we were not instructed to contradict what the board did. We follow the board direction of the majority. So we don't go off on our own without request legal services from the board to research independent studies around the world. And I just want to clarify that.
Thank you, ma'am. Are there any further, Commissioner Beard?
So Commissioner Ballard, you're saying that it took 90 days, not 10 days? Just to be clear, so we know that the public knows this.
According to the contract that I saw, yes, unless the process was significantly different than what the contract online said.
Okay, so that was another statement that was not true by Commissioner Cruz, that it took 10 days. Again, here we are. Was it 90 days, Commissioner Cruz, or was it 10 days?
Just to clarify, I did, what I said, I spoke to Commissioners Citrus County. I said, how long did it take you to write that report? They said, we whipped it up in about 10 days. That's a quote from someone. How long does the entirety of the process take? How long does the entirety of a process take? As the county attorney just opined, there are other steps associated with it that could take a longer period of time. This is what a Citrus County commissioner told me at the FACT conference when I talked to them back in June. I'm not going to speak to whether or not they're accurate or not. I'm quoting you when I said I spoke to 3 Citrus County commissioners, and this is what they told me. I'm relaying information relayed to me. I was not in the Citrus County meetings. I did not time it for them. They told me they whipped up that report in 10 days. How long does it take to put together a report and pass it through legal and then go through the planning commission and go through that? Maybe that takes 90 days. I don't know.
So did you read the report? Because you're blaming us for not reading the report, and Commissioner Ballard just read the report, and she said that it said 90 days. So you've made an assumption that we didn't read the report. I have the floor.
understand,
You
but
made an
let's not get
assumption
back
that
and
we
forth.
did not read the report, and here you are again making assumptions out of the blue, right? And when Commissioner Ballard actually just read the report, and it said 90 days. So thank you very much. I'm done, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, just to clarify, Commissioner Ballard never said she read the report. She read the contract for somebody to write the report. Please pay attention. I don't know why I'm even debating you. This is like talking to a wall. She said she read the contract for someone to write the report. She didn't say she read the report, and I did read the report. In fact, I posted it on Facebook, I posted it on Substack, I posted it in numerous places, and I emailed it to a bunch of people. So you could have read the report as well, but she never claimed she read the report. She read the contract.
Okay. Here's why I'm at on this. If we move forward with where Commissioner Cruz wants to go on extending or going back and looking at the extraordinary circumstance, do a report, engage the consultant, that we have no idea, and we have to have this thing done by October 1st. This basically throws out from what I understand, would throw out the entire impact fee study as it sits today. And we have other elements that go along with that, especially transportation. That has to be redone along with the study, which is going to delay this process even further down the road. And we've been trying to get to a point to get this process moving forward and get this study done, get it accepted, and move forward to get the impact fees that are being proposed by staff to get them implemented. The longer we wait, the less we collect. And I can't remember how long this study has taken to get done, but it's been a long time. And it's just going to delay the process even further to take the chance that we might have a consultant say we have extenuating or extraordinary circumstances in Manatee County, that we should be collecting more. Then we have, I don't know if it'll happen or not, but we've seen it in the past, that the building industry has sued. Now that goes to court. That's going to take even longer to get this implemented. And then we're going to have citizens back in front of us complaining that we're not collecting impact fees, we're not doing our job, but because we did what they wanted us to do, delay the study, and hope on the fact that we hopefully can meet the nexus for extraordinary circumstances. So I'm not in favor of extending this any more than it is done. I believe that where we're at today with the study and what staff has recommended, as at the collection, they're the experts on this. I believe that we're at the right place at the right time to move this, to move what we have forward, to move what's been motioned, or the motion that's on the board, to a motion to approve, is where we're at. And I think we're at a good place and to do this at. So that's just the remainder of my comments. There's a motion on the board.
Is there? I can't see.
Yeah, you got to click. There you go. You didn't get your class. There it is. Yeah, it's right there. Okay. There's a motion on the board for item number 3, ordinance 24-43. Okay. The motion has been moved by Commissioner Van Ossenbridge, seconded by Commissioner Bearden. If anyone would cast their votes at this point. And the motion carries 5-1, with Commissioner Cruz voting no. All right, item number 4. Item number 4 has been moved by Commissioner Van Ossenbridge and seconded by Commissioner Ballard. If anyone would cast their votes at this time. It's legislative. We had public comment altogether. We opened all 3 together. All right, if you please cast your votes this time. The motion carries 6-0. Item number 5.
And Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
On number 5, as a part to Ms. Knapp, that the motion on the cover memo isn't correct. The motion the staff for is the correct one. So number 5, the motion says ordinance 2444, amending the council plan, and it's subject to ordinance 2444 becoming effective as recommended by the Planning Commission. So there's a contingency that the LDC amendment is contingent upon the complement becoming effective. I'm just clarifying that.
The motioner agrees to that.
All right, the motioner agrees to the clarification, and the seconder agrees also. Thank you. If anyone would cast your votes at this time. Motion carries 6-0. All right. On to the next advertised public hearing, developmental services. Ms. Layton, you're up. Item number 6.
Item number 6.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Knapp, can you read it in the record?
Yes.
I thought she was going to read it in the record.
Item number 6 is Plan Amendment 2320, Ordinance 2415, Seaport Manatee Master Plan Update. This is the adoption hearing of a large-scale text amendment to the port sub-element, Element 5, Transportation, to remove the existing and previously approved Port Master T Plan, which was the 2016 plan, and to adopt an amended and updated master plan, Seaport Manatee Master Plan 2022.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Layton, now you're up.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Rachel Layton. I'm with staff. I'm a certified planner, and I'm a Manatee County resident. Today, we're bringing forward PA 23-20, Ordinance 2415 for Seaport Manatee Master Plan Update, which is the 2022 Large-Scale Comprehensive Plan Text Amendment under PLN 2308-0159, which is a legislative, and I'm filling in for Charles Andrews today. I also have today Daniel Fitzpatrick as a representative of Seaport Manatee, and he's going to give you a brief presentation as well. But I just kind of wanted to go through the slides. So, per Florida statutes, Seaport Manatee, the Port Master Plan shall be updated every 5 years pursuant to Florida statutes 339.15. A lot of it, what we're changing is the terminology, because we've gone from Port Manatee to Seaport Manatee. So you'll see that consistent throughout all of the text. Proposed update, again, has several new elements. Includes an executive summary and now 18 sections. So these sections include capital projects, facility capacity analysis, and stakeholder engagement. This master plan update provides policy framework for the port's development program at the following increments: 5-year, 10-year, and 20-year for a vision plan. And Mr. Fitzpatrick will go more into detail into this graphic when he comes up to present. As part of the update, again, it's the rebranding from Port Manatee to Seaport Manatee. We're very fortunate to have this resource in our community. The proposed update shall amend the following elements of the comprehensive plan: both Element 4, Coastal Management for Port Manatee, and Element 5, Transportation for the port sub-element. The proposed amendment received a no objection from the following state agencies: Florida Commerce, Florida Department of Environmental Protection, and Southwest Florida Water Management District. We did receive no objection with comments for technical assistance information from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission to give us some guidance as we move forward with any projects within Seaport Manatee. This request is consistent with the Manatee County Comprehensive Plan and in accordance with Land Development Code. The request is for adoption of Comprehensive Plan Text Amendment PA 23-20 for Ordinance 2415 for Seaport Master Plan Update. Thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Daniel Fitzpatrick.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Fitzpatrick.
Good morning. Dan Fitzpatrick, Manatee County resident, and I'm Director of Planning and Project Development at Seaport Manatee. And Seaport Manatee is Southwest Florida's primary seaport, and as Ms. Layton pointed out, Manatee County residents are very fortunate to have this resource in the county. Not every county in the state has a seaport. Next closest seaport is Port Tampa Bay, which is a 70-mile round trip, and then third to the north, and then to the south. The next closest seaport is Palm Beach, Port Everglades, 3 hours away. And why Manatee County residents are so fortunate to have this resource is because approximately 35% of everything that Americans buy is tied to transportation cost. And so when you add 70% or 70 miles onto the transportation of those goods that Manatee County residents buy in the store, that the cost add up quickly. So having this resource, 6 miles away, 3 miles away from Manatee County residents, reduces transportation cost, and leads to cost savings for county residents. So, the mission of the Seaport is to be an economic catalyst for the county and Southwest Florida. And how the port does this is we collect revenues from all of the cargo and all of the services at the port, and we reinvest all of those revenues to maximize our economic impact for Southwest Florida. And as Ms. Layton pointed out, the port does have to update our master plan every 5 years by Florida statute. And our master plan that the Manatee County Port Authority Board adopted in February of 2023 is our 5-year update, and it provides a 20-year vision for the port. And the 20-year vision is implemented annually through our capital improvement plan. And having a plan makes sure that we're reinvesting all of the revenues that are collected in the right infrastructure to make sure that we're maximizing our economic impact. And having a plan is required for state and federal grants, and that's one of the first questions that you get asked when you're applying for a grant. And by applying for those grants, we can match up state and federal dollars with our revenues and maximize the infrastructure that we're investing in and maximizing our economic impact. And so our master plan outlined more than 25 major projects and then some minor projects and also some policies. And we're about 1.5 years into working through our master plan. And it's important to note that many of these projects were in our previous 2016 plan, and even some of those projects were identified in earlier plans, like our 2009 plan. So we're staying consistent. Some of the projects might be in the places that they're shown in the map, but it's more about a vision and that we need this infrastructure. So we have one of the projects completed, half of the projects are underway, and then we're seeking grant funding for the other half. And so with that, I'll take any questions. Thank you.
Does any of the commissioners have any questions for Commissioner Turner? I mean, I can't, for some reason, this thing's not bringing.
Yeah, that's all right. Hey, Dan, would you say that this ordinance then, or this amendment, then frees up the ability for you guys to grow the way you want to grow within this 20-year plan? Does it help with that?
Thank you. By passing this ordinance, we'll be able to replace the 2016 plan in the county comprehensive plan with the 22 update that our board passed. And by doing that, we'll be eligible for state and federal grants, and also it'll make the permitting process a lot easier when we're working with the state on some of our required permits that we're going to be seeking over the next 5 years. Thank you.
So it will do the job then, free
Yes.
up? Yeah, because I'm excited about 1,100 acres there that we can develop, so we need you freed up for the 20-year plan. All right, thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. All right, any other questions for Mr. Fitzpatrick? Seeing none, there's a motion on the board, moved by Commissioner Bearden, seconded by Commissioner Turner. If everyone please cast their votes at this time. Oh, public, sorry. I'd like to open up for public comment. Seeing none. Seeing no one's in the audience, but all right, close public comment. Cast your votes now. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations, you got your plan. All right, that's the end of all of our presentations scheduled. Madam Attorney, do you have any additional items?
No, sir.
Okay. Ms. Knapp?
Hold on, what about the resolution for Hurricane Debbie?
It was in consent.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
right.
it was in
Okay,
consent.
got it.
That's why I asked if anyone wanted to pull it.
Yep, thank you, sorry.
Ms. Knapp, do you have anything? No, Mr. Chair. All right, thank you. Any commissioner comments or any agenda items that commissioners would like to bring forward? All right, thank you very much. Appreciate everybody being here today. Thank you, staff, as usual. And we are adjourned.